I'm Trudeau Boucher, and welcome to Canada for the Canadian Grand Prix. Now, the action is about to start, but we have a bit of a mixed-up grid, eh? But those Canadians, they are at the back. But, you know, what can you expect from Latifi and Stroll, eh? Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Kicking Haas. It is the Canadian Grand Prix today. Now, if you haven't caught up with qualifying, you can see here it was a bit of a wet and wild one. There's a link up there. Click on that to catch up. It is definitely worth doing. It was a crazy qualifying session, but it is all about the race right now. And, well, as you will know if you've watched qualifying, K-Mag is starting on the front row. Unfortunately for Sargeant, just didn't quite get it done in Q1. Maybe caught out a little bit by the weather and a lack of a good team principle. I think we probably just go with that, don't we? Maybe look for a little bit of an undercut on the mediums, and the hard should just about get him to the end, and that is all fine. Starting 16th, is it worth taking grid penalties? Probably not, unless we have to. And then K-Mag, well, we can only really stuff this up with him, can't we? I think we just do the standard strategy. Are we going to finish on the front row? Realistically, probably not, are we? Let's be honest. But if we go all out first lap, we might be able to lead a lap here. You never know. And yeah, we'll just kind of see exactly how far we can get. And yeah, well, let's go and do this. All right, it's a mixed up grid for the Canadian Grand Prix. The Red Bulls are well back. We've got an Alpha Tauri, it looks like, with us up there as well in 4th. And let's jump on board quickly here with K-Mag. And Alonso's got a belting start. So that's unfortunate. It looks as though we going to settle into 2nd place. We've got a Ferrari on soft tyres trying to stick one up the inside of us. Fight him off, K-Mag. Fight him off. Are we going to... I don't like our chances here. Can we stick it up the inside? Oh, no, we can't. We've got to yield that one. And we've got Sargeant up to P15. But this is very much just hang on to what we can here and, yeah, see what we can do. Come on, boys. Come on.
Good job.
You would imagine, I mean, the Alpines really, so far from what we've seen, they've not been the quickest in the races. As Sargeant gets himself past Vettel. And has got a little bit of a vendetta to get up the field here. I don't want to do here. I've got a good run. We're on deploy as well. What I don't want to do is burn through all the ERS early on here. But if we can break the DRS to Gasly, who's almost a second behind anyway, if he can be a cork in the bottle. And it looks like Vettel has got Sargeant back. Alright, so we will go off of deploy now with both cars, I think, and just try and settle into a bit of a race rhythm here. The key is going to be, yeah, trying to get past Alonso, isn't it? You imagine the Ferrari is going to do that relatively quickly here. Be a second clear coming out of the hairpin pretty much, so that cars don't have DRS on you. So I think what we're going to do, and there's a DRS at the back straight as well, isn't there? I think what we're going to try and do is we're going to deploy going out of the hairpin, so when we've got the double DRS, and I'm imagining we're not going to be able to get Leclerc here. I think he's on soft tyre, is going to be a little bit out of our reach. He might even be about to get Alonso now, is he? He has got Alonso now, so we need to... The annoying thing about this, actually, is that Alonso is going to have... He's going to have DRS off the back of Leclerc. But we've got to go for this. We've got to go deploy. We've got to try and burn the petrol.
Motor push.
Come on, K-Mag. Can he get him? Could we slingshot 2 cars here? I just want to make sure we're ahead of Alonso, because I think he is going to be the slower car here. Can we go 3 wide down the back straight? This is ambitious. We've got the Ferrari. Can we go and take the lead of the race? Oh, that almost went terribly wrong. All right, let's back this back off again. Can we... I don't necessarily want to be ahead of the Ferrari, though. That's the problem, isn't it? That doesn't really help us. So Sargeant's got Vettel back. I wonder if what we might actually want to do is if we harvest behind Leclerc. So if we harvest down this straight,
Charge on.
we'll still have DRS. We'll still be able to stay in touch. We'll go neutral.
Copy that.
And then we can maybe have another go. Because I do think if we can get ahead of Alonso, there's a chance that us and Leclerc could maybe pull clear of everybody of Alonso. You know, if we sort of slingshot each other down the straights. The issue right now is Alonso sort of stuck in there. Gasly is 1.5 seconds back. He can't go with this pace. I mean, we're deploying like a mofo. There's an argument to say we can't go with this pace either. Now, they've battled each other there. Can K-Mag get a good run off? And could we get 3? No. Harvest.
Charge on. Copy that.
We'll just sit behind them here again. Try and charge as much of the battery back as we can. And yeah, I mean, I hopefully this isn't going to go on too long and become a massively long episode. But this is, I think, really important. You can see Gasly is caught back up as well. He's back within DRS of us. So it just goes to show, doesn't it, that it really is difficult to pull away here. As I say, I'm thinking that maybe we could go with Leclerc if we can both get past Alonso. Now, Alonso's not going to have DRS here. This could be our chance.
Mode push.
Copy that.
Come on, K-Mag. Come on, K-Mag. Good exit, mate. That was a great exit. All right. Oh, well, look at this. We're going to get Leclerc before DRS, potentially. Now, the issue is, can we go 3 wide down this straight? Why is the DRS all closed there? Is that because we lifted? Can we both shove it up the inside? Let them go side by side, and then we can get them both. Come on, K-Mag. DRS is opened. DRS is open. We should get Alonso quite comfortably here. And it looks as though we have. All right, now we need to go like buggery and try and break the DRS to Alonso. Do we leave it on deploy? We've got to think a little bit more long term, I think. We should get DRS off the back of Leclerc. What we want to do is break the DRS to Alonso. He's 7/10 back, but what's going to happen, of course, here is he's going to have DRS and just sort of close back upwards. Oh, we're going to take the lead of a Grand Prix. Now, of course, we led some laps in Baku. That was during a pit stop sequence. This is very, very much on merit, and we are in the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. And perhaps more importantly, look at Alonso. He is going to be outside DRS. And could this be, as Gasly is continuing to hold up the Red Bulls as well, could this be a situation now where we can break free of the pack with Leclerc and find ourselves, I wouldn't say guaranteed of a podium, but certainly looking very good for one. Now, does Alonso have DRS? You can see he closes back in, back to half a second. But if he doesn't have the DRS, then it's... Yeah, I mean, he's going to get a slipstream feed if he does have DRS, I suppose, isn't he? Anyway, we've just led a lap. And we've done the new fastest lap of the race as well. Excellent stuff. Hamilton and new fastest lap of the race for Magnussen. Excellent work, K-Mag. And that's not a ERS deployment lap either. I mean, there's probably some DRS involved. But that's very much based on pace. And the Red Bulls being blocked up behind a few. Now, we've got Verstappen in the pits looking for an undercut here, no doubt. And this could be where it starts to get a little bit interesting for us. I mean, it's too early yet for us to come in. Whether Verstappen is looking at a 2-stop on that. What sort of tyre did Verstappen go onto? He went onto a hard, so he's almost certainly trying to get to the end. We've got Leclerc in the pits now as well. I mean, we're just entering our pit window. I think it's too early. Like, look, the hards are going to be almost dead by the end. What we might try and do is, if we kind of go for it as much as we can and try and minimize the time loss, because we do have quite a bit of life left in the tires yet. So if we can really push to that pit window, we'll do the same thing with Sargeant. then
If you don't need it, no lift and coast.
hopefully,
Copy.
can we look at last lap times? Let's see what sort of time Leclerc and Verstappen. And Verstappen's done a 17, so Verstappen is doing the same sort of lap time as us. Although we've just run out of battery, so that's not great. Is this the lap to pit then? What's the gap to leader? Gap to leader is 18, 19 seconds. And that 19 seconds is roughly what a pit stop was, wasn't it? And we know our pit stops are slow. So I think we've got to go this lap, don't we? And then try and still be in the DRS battle with Leclerc and Verstappen and just try and stick with them. I think we've got to do that. So we'll go on to the hard tyre. And let's hope this works out okay. Come on, K-Mag. Now, can the Haas boys pull off a decent stop for us? Alonso's come in behind us as well. So this will be interesting. There's a big risk of us actually being jumped by an Alpine pit stop.
Yeah, good job.
He's out of DRS, so we'll just go back to neutral for him. What sort of pit stop have we got? That is... Oh, we've waited for Alonso. Our pit stops absolutely kill us. So is that Leclerc there? I think. That is Leclerc. So we're ahead of Verstappen, behind Leclerc, but also behind Alonso. So we've got to be a little bit careful on the tyres here now. And we're pretty much... we're back where we started, behind Alonso and Leclerc. That's basically what's happened there. Excellent. Excellent. What a waste of 25 laps. Alright, Sargeant should be due to... Oh, we've got Verstappen down our outside as well. So we've lost another position. To be honest, that was bound to happen at some point anyway. I'd almost rather this and we can sort of DRS behind him. Leclerc and Alonso, I think, are actually achievable for us. A Red Bull at this point is just not. So Gasly and Sainz are in the pits. Let's see what we've done there. And we've kind of just backed out of that, which seems a little silly. If we go to Harvest, like I say, I don't necessarily want to pass Verstappen. I think we are actually maybe better off behind him. But I want to see where we come out here in relation to Sainz. Are we ahead of him? We've gone around the outside of Verstappen. There's the other Ferrari. There's Gasly as well. So we have lost out massively on this pit sequence. We need to make sure we have DRS this lap, K-Mag. Please and thank you. Alright. So we should have it. I'm not sure where the detection point is. It's probably that line there, isn't it, we just crossed. But we're going to have DRS. And that's essentially that's job done, isn't it? That should protect us now from those behind. Sargeant has dropped down to 11th, which is a little bit disappointing. Perez still going on up front. Is he doing a bit of a Bottas role here, I think, and just trying to hold everybody up for Verstappen? But Verstappen is stuck. He was behind us. We've managed to get past Sainz, Gasly, and Alonso. Another fastest lap for Magnussen. Magnussen could win this race, you know. Magnussen is very, very much best man on track, it feels like, just now. He's cut through the field where Verstappen couldn't. He's set fastest lap a couple of times now. And once Perez stops, we're in a very good position to take the lead of the race again. And he's probably led the most laps as well as Sargeant overtakes Hamilton. It just may be that we have a car that works very, very well around the streets of Montreal. So this is exciting, isn't it? Very, very exciting. I mean, if you were a betting man right now, well, you'd say at some point Magnussen's going to lock up and throw it in a fence. That's the logical thing to happen. But you would say, all things being equal from here, we at least look on for a podium. I almost don't, again, want to overtake just yet. But then equally, maybe we just want to get it done and go from there. I don't want to use the ERS, but we'll go late on the brakes. We'll take off the lift and coast. Can we stick one in there? Not quite. Let's go harvest.
Charge on, please.
And, of course, the risk with what we've got to watch for is Alonso mugging us off from behind if we're not charging. So if we are charging, I should say. We'll go neutral now and see if we can get him down this straight.
Copy.
But K-Mag doing a wonderful, wonderful job. Is this a little bit too far back, are we? We send one in, and that should be us back in front, shouldn't it? There we go. K-Mag ahead of Leclerc. He'll almost certainly lose that back down the straight here. Unless we're too far back to get DRS off of Perez. Perez's tyres must be running around on the rims at this point. We're only halfway through this race. There's still a long, long way to go. I am perhaps getting a little bit excited. Let's not be on board as Leclerc just charges back past us. He actually hasn't managed to do that, so that's promising. And yeah, I mean, we're essentially, as I said, we're back where we started. Look at Sargeant, they're doing a really good job holding on to 10th. I wonder if Perez, he must be on a hard tyre, surely. Oh, he has stopped. How is Perez? So Perez has undercut the lot of us. Okay, so we're not actually... Perez is for position.
That's a good overtake from Alpine.
Ocon has got Sargeant. Sargent's got Ocon back. And we've got some lap traffic coming up here. Hopefully that doesn't balk us too badly. And it's actually worked out okay for us there. We're still right behind Leclerc. We've got a little bit of a gap back to Alonso. We've gone back up into second. And with 30 laps to go, we are still on for at least a podium here. Oh, Sargeant's locked up. Oh, he was doing so well. We'll have a look at it when the replay comes up, but he has essentially, he's dropped himself out of the points here. Oh, he's just got a little bit wide. And poor Logan Sargeant. It's a bit of a rookie mistake, isn't it? Oh, these things can happen. Such a shame, though. Maybe he can we'll get an idea here. If he can catch them back up, then we'll get a really good idea, actually, of whether or not he is able to score points today or not. But it's not one for the faint-hearted, is it? It's just constant pressure because you can't break away from the DRS train. So that's Sargeant up to 11th. And Sargeant has just done the fastest lap of the race. How has he done that? Go on, Logan. Oh, that's fantastic. Love to see that. Yeah, I'm not really sure how he's done that, but that's magnificent. He won't get the bonus point unless he can get into the points, of course. I always feel like that rule should be if you're in the top 10 or on the lead lap, because what you don't want is someone that's races over coming in and making the fastest lap. But to me, if you're a lap down, then you don't get the points. But if you're doing it on the lead lap, you're obviously being a competitive car during the race. So I think you should get the point then. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
Is that a new race position?
So we've got K-Mag back to the front with 10 laps to go. At what point do we start thinking we've got definitely enough petrol to get there and abandon the old lift and coast?
Haas with an overtake.
I'm wondering, Sargeant 2 seconds behind, if we look to try and push him up to the back of Hamilton and then see what he can do. And I think with 5 laps to go,
Out of DRS.
with 5 laps to go, I think we jump back on with K-Mag, because this is an epic race. Can you imagine watching this on TV? It would be absolutely epic. Sargeant 1.7 seconds now back of Hamilton as Ricciardo gets lapped. And Perez is just in danger of pulling away from us here. Alright, so we are going with 5 laps to go. 37% tyres. You might just need to be a little bit careful on that. We'll go full push. We need to be a bit careful with Sargeant as well. How's everybody else looking on tyres? Everybody else is way better on tyres than we. I mean, we've had to push to stay in this battle, so hopefully that's not going to affect us
Back off.
come the end of the race. I've maybe been a little bit overconfident on our tyres getting there. There, he is just a little bit below where we should be. So, here we go. Back straight, coming around to start, 4 laps to go. Ideally, we want to be in second, don't we? We want to probably be in second and then go full deploy down this back straight on the last lap. And you get the feeling that that's what this race is leading up to, isn't it? The race is going to be won into this final chicane on the final lap. We've got DRS. Alonso is... Actually, if we dropped Alonso behind, Alonso looks like he's got past Gasly. And we've definitely dropped them. So it's a 3-horse race at this point. 4 laps to go. They're 2 seconds back. Surely they are not going to catch us. So that would mean as long as K-Mag keeps it on the road, we're going to be standing on a podium here in Montreal, which is amazing. But could it be more than third? Now, of course, Haas have never had a podium. So if we do get a podium, we're going to have to build a memorabilia room because we'll have a trophy to stick in there. So this could be a truly, truly historic race. K-Mag has got a podium, of course. His first race in Australia for McLaren. He got second, I think, wasn't it? Or was it? I think he beat Button when they were both teammates. So it's not a first podium for K-Mag. It would be for the team, though. All right. Coming around with 2 laps to go. Alonso still 2.5 seconds back. We are just losing out a little bit, and I think it's probably down to our tyre life, which isn't quite what the other two have. Ideally, if they want to stick each other in the wall, that'd be brilliant. Doesn't matter if there's a safety car now, because it'll finish under safety car. 3 laps to go, and we are right back up behind them. The tyre life seems to be hanging in there as well. Sargeant is 3.1 seconds, so he has dropped off of Hamilton. He is not going to be scoring a point today unless something goes wrong in front of him. But, I mean, 11th would that be his best result? It'd be up there, wouldn't it? Did he get an 11th in Spain? I can't remember now. DRS again. We're getting a little bit of battery life back here. And Leclerc around the outside. There's a move. So he goes back to the lead. And I think maybe this lap we try and get Perez.
Road push.
Come on. It maybe wasn't the right lap, was it? We're a little bit too far back. Closing, 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 closing. Alright, get a good run out of there, K-Mag, and you might be able to get them both again. We might be able to get them both here, you know? Oh, no, they've sort of blocked off that. And that's our ERS done. 2 laps to go. 3.8 seconds is the gap back to Verstappen now. It looks as though they sort of lost the DRS train, didn't they? And that allowed Verstappen to sort of pick him off, I would imagine. Gasly 5th, Alonso 6th, Sainz 7th. If anybody is interested in further back down, let's go deploy here. This is the second last lap. We really do need to try and get at least one of them here if we are hoping for anything more than third. And I can't believe I'm saying I would be delighted with third. Alright. Come on, K-Mag. Come on.
Road push.
Copy.
I just don't think we quite... They've put the pedal down, haven't they? They're really, really going for it now, and we just don't quite have the pace to go with them. We're there. If there's a mistake made, we are right there. But we just don't seem to have the pace. It's the last lap of the race. We can see the leader. The leader is, what? 3-4 tenths of a second away? Alright, let's just go deploy around the lap. If nothing else, we might even be able to nick the fastest lap here away from Perez if we do that. Alright, we're going to have a DRS zone here. If we are any chance of the win, we have to get Perez in this DRS zone. Lock up and take you both out, Perez. Come on, mate. Come on. It's just not quite, is it? It's not quite happening. How are we doing on fastest lap? Not great. We're out of battery. The tyres are hitting the red zone as well. Alright, this is it. They have got a much better leap off that corner than we have. So it's going to be P3 for K-Mag unless something goes wonderfully right for us at the last chicane. But that is absolutely magnificent. Sargeant is going to be a very lonely 11th in the end. But here we go, coming across the line. And it is Kevin Magnussen coming around to take third for Haas. There we go. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. A first ever podium for Haas. A first podium of our career as team manager. And, well, that is... We've converted the front row start. That is brilliant. Well done, K-Mag. Excellent stuff. So there we go. Well done to Kevin Magnussen. I can't believe we got a podium in Canada. I really didn't think that was going to happen. Yeah, I would love to know how much of that was... I mean, you can't stay at the front of a Grand Prix by luck, can you? Well, because you qualified well. You know, Alonso was on pole, and well, he didn't finish. He didn't finish on the podium, did he? So that's excellent. K-Mag has done us very, very proud there. He's put a fake hat on his head, and there he is collecting Haas's first ever trophy. Brilliant, K-Mag, absolutely brilliant. Champagne. There's only a way I can sort of edit champagne falling over me now, but... oh, this is superb. Really, really happy. The champagne is able to go through the perspex, which is incredible. It really is magical stuff, that winner's champagne. But there we go, a Haas on the podium. And there's the team celebrating, very, very well deserved. And yeah, that has been a brilliant, brilliant Grand Prix. So, confirmation of the results. In the end, we didn't get the fastest lap, and we did drop a position. How dare you, K-Mag? But that's absolutely superb. Logan Sargeant up 5, and was racing with the likes of Hamilton and Ocon for a long, long time during that race. So, I couldn't be any happier with him either, to be honest. It's just a shame he had that lock-up, and it did cost him in the end potentially a point. But there we go. So, there's the championship standings. K-Mag stays 8th. But he does kick a little bit further clear and closes the gap on Bottas in 7th. And Logan Sargeant, with his 11th place, goes up to 15th, ahead of Ricciardo and Mick Schumacher now, who has no team because he was absolutely rubbish. Then the Constructors' Championship, we go above Alpine into 5th. So that is very, very nice indeed. We're closing the gap on Alfa Romeo to 4th as well. Could we dare dream of getting 4th in this Constructors' Championship? If we can keep this trend going, then you'd have to say absolutely we could. Do we get any driver development points? We do get one for Sargeant. We do not get one for K-Mag, and Correa is there as well. All right, that's it for today. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Well done, K-Mag. Well done, Sargeant. The next race, I'm not sure what's after Canada. It's probably back in Europe somewhere, but I've gone blank. But it'll be a surprise for next episode. Take care.